Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So it was another really bad day for Donald Trump's DJT stock. You guys know I've been on stock watch. As you all know, the 6-month lockup period ended last Thursday. So Trump and the other original stockholders can now ditch their shares. So right now, it's like a game of financial Jenga because if any one person sells off a large number of shares, the whole thing could collapse or it will collapse. So investors are spooked by that prospect. And then also the fact that Trump's presidential bid isn't looking as much of a sure thing as it was a few months ago. So the stock price just keeps falling. On Friday, the stock dropped to a low of only $13.50. And then today it was even worse. So for the first time since 2023, the stock price dropped below $13 a share. It hit a low of $12.12. So it was bouncing around. It was another day where I had to keep taking new screenshots because it just kept falling and falling. So it bounced around in the upper $12 range through most of the day, and then it just started falling and dropping off a cliff. So Trump has to be freaking out right now. His supporters have to be freaking out right now. I mean, some of these people said they pulled all of their money out of their other investments, the ones who had money to invest, and put it into DJT stock. And, other people used their whole life savings to buy this stuff. And like I said, when it first went public, I mean, it was going for $40, $50, $60 a share. And then it hit a high of almost $80 a share. And as I've mentioned before, selling his shares, meaning Donald Trump selling his shares before the election, it would amount to political suicide. It would tank the company. It would piss off his base. They wouldn't vote for him. That might be the one thing that would prevent people from voting for him. But Trump has now lost $6.5 billion since the stock went public. And considering how much debt he has, he needs that money. He needs every dime that he can grift off of his supporters. Which brings me to another bit of news. So Trump got some pushback on his failing social media site because he announced the launch of Trump coins. I'm not joking. So you got Trump playing cards, basically like Pokemon cards. You got Trump tennis shoes, sneakers. Just worthless crap. And now he's got these medallions. So Trump posted a video on Liar Social. And in it, he said that as of this Wednesday, September 25th, his marks, or I guess his supporters, they can now purchase, quote, the only official coin designed by me and proudly minted here in the USA, the President Donald J. Trump first edition silver medallion. And he's hawking these things, these worthless pieces of metal, for $100 a piece. So even some of his cult members were not happy with this. One user replied to his video and said, quote, "Can you please not try to sell these shit coins while running for president? It doesn't look good for you. Focus on real issues." Aw, isn't that cute that they think he cares about real issues? And then another person said something which ties into what I was just talking about with the stock. Quote, "President Trump is a great innovator and businessman." That was your first mistake. Quote, "No other presidential candidates ever offered so many great items. I will buy a few coins," because I'm a sucker. He didn't say that, I said that. "However, I have a lot of our money tied up in DJT Truth Social stock. I need that price to get above $55. Oh, sweetie, that ship has sailed. We tried to warn you guys, but no, you will not believe anyone but your apricot antichrist. So Womp womp and thoughts and prayers. I don't really care. Do you? I used to have some empathy for these people getting swindled by this guy, but no, it's been too many years. It has been way too many years. The information is out there. If they cared to look or bothered to, believe it, like if they could just wrap their little cult brains around the truth, they would know you can't trust this man. He has lied to everyone he's ever spoken to. He's a scumbag and a grifter and a con artist and a thief. So, it's on you guys now. And, like I keep saying, the stock's value, it is inextricably linked to Donald Trump's chances of winning the presidential election. That's the only value. That's it. And so there's cause for concern because, for one thing, voter registration is skyrocketing, especially with younger Americans. So USA Today is reporting that last Tuesday, which apparently was National Voter Registration Day, more than 150,000 people registered on vote.org. Now, just to put that in context, because you can think, oh, well, maybe that's just an average amount. No, in all of 2023, the entire year of 2023, vote.org had a total of 279,400 registrations. 279,400 registrations in a year versus almost or more than half of that in one day. And of those 150,000 who registered last Tuesday, 81% were voters under the age of 35. Vote.org also told USA Today the largest group was 18-year-olds. So 11% of those 150,000 were 18-year-old brand new voters. That is a 53% jump if you compare it to the number of 18-year-olds who registered on the same day in the 2020 election cycle. Think about that. And, young people tend to be more progressive. They're more concerned about things that Democrats shine with, like abortion, climate change, gun control. That should absolutely concern Republicans. And as I've said before, I think that the polls are undercounting support for Kamala Harris and the Democrats precisely because of things like this, because most polls include only likely voters. And most pollers, or pollsters consider likely voters to be people who've previously voted. So a lot of these polls are not capturing, in my opinion, the sentiment of brand new voters, people who are now inspired to get out and vote for the first time this year. And there was a similar surge they saw in voter registration in the state of Alabama. Now, it might not necessarily be good news for Democrats, though, and I'll explain. So according to the Alabama Secretary of State, registration started to pick up in March, but they said they saw a significant increase starting in August. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. Well, August, that was when Kamala Harris became the official nominee. That's when she became the presumptive and then the official nominee, and things were really underway with her. Well, they said that there was a jump in voter registration among new voters between the ages of 18 to 20. So again, I'm thinking, oh, this is really good. Also, more females registered than males. Again, very good because we have seen a major divide in the genders, especially in this race. So at first I thought, oh, okay, this is excellent news, more Democratic voters in Alabama. But according to the registration data, the number of registered Democrats has decreased year over year, and Republicans have gained 30,000 new registrations. So the increase in August definitely seems tied to Kamala Harris becoming the nominee, but it could be interpreted in a couple of ways. So, it could be that these are anti-Trump Democrats and Republicans who plan to vote for Harris. Maybe they couldn't bring themselves to vote for Joe Biden, But now that she is the nominee, they're like, okay, I could do that. I could, even the Republicans, maybe they're anti-Trump Republicans, they're still conservative, they don't want to leave the party, but, they couldn't pull the trigger for Biden, and now they're willing to do it with Kamala Harris. It could also mean Republicans got worried about Trump's chances. Now that he has a formidable opponent, once Joe Biden was officially out of the race, it could mean that was a backlash. They're like, oh, we got to get off the couch now and we got to vote because Kamala Harris is surging ahead. Let's be real. Alabama, not even in the realm of possibility for Democrats, right? They're not going to win Alabama. Just the way the state is, it's just not going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see how these numbers shake out and if they do any better in that state versus previous years. So we'll see. As for polling, kind of a mixed bag today. NBC released a poll on Sunday. It had really good news for Harris. So it showed her with a 5-point national lead over Trump. That is outside of their 3% margin of error. So obviously, excellent news, right? We want it to be in the 4 to 6 point range to get over the Electoral College bump or advantage that the Republicans have. But then today, the New York Times Siena College poll came out, and they show Trump beating Harris in 3 different crucial battleground states. So it shows Trump with a 2-point lead in North Carolina, a 4-point lead in Georgia, and they have him up by 5% in Arizona. So not good. According to the pollster, Trump has been able to eat into Harris's numbers by winning over a number of Hispanic voters. Trump allies, though, they're kind of betraying the bluster, right? Because they're out there saying, oh, Trump is going to win and he's got it in the bag. And Trump is out there, saying he's doing great and the polls are all in his favor. But his allies betray him because they made it clear with their actions that they're very worried about his chances because they're trying to pull all kinds of tricks and make all kinds of changes to try to prop him up. So for one thing, in Georgia, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's this new MAGA majority on the elections board. So there's 3 people. Trump has called them out by name at rallies. He calls them his pit bulls. These people are all in on, the stop the steal, election security, BS, just all the conspiracy theories. Well, those 3 just were able to band together and they pushed through a requirement that all the ballots in that state are to be counted by hand. This is absurd on so many levels. So for one thing, it's now going to take probably weeks before we know who won Georgia. So, if it comes down to that state, we're screwed. We're sitting around for weeks trying to figure out who won the presidential election. And do we really trust Trump cult members to accurately and honestly tally votes that they're counting by hand? Right? These are the people who have spent the last 5 years pushing election fraud conspiracy theories. I wouldn't trust them to tell me who won a coin toss for a cupcake, let alone telling me, oh no, Trump lost. Yeah, are they really going to say that if it happens? No, I don't believe them. And now Trump and Senator Lindsey Graham are trying to get Nebraska to change their longstanding electoral college system. So the issue is that Nebraska does things differently than most other states. There's only one other state that does things a little different, which is Maine. And so most states, all the other states other than Maine, they're winner take all. So what that means is that if a candidate wins the majority of the votes in the state, if they win the popular vote, all of that state's electoral college votes are given to that candidate. They're not split up. They go all or nothing, right? Nebraska, though, splits these up. So their state has a total of 5 electoral college votes to put forth. As of now, and the way they've been doing it for years, centuries, is that they give 2 of those votes to the winner of the statewide popular vote. So they do that like all the other states. 2 electoral college votes automatically go to that state's top vote getter. The other 3 electoral college votes, though, are awarded to the candidate who wins each of their voting districts. So there are 3 voting districts in that state. Each one awards 1 electoral college vote based on their specific district's top winner, the popular vote getter in that district. The reason Trump doesn't like this is because Harris is leading in Nebraska's 2nd district. So that one district, it has gone for Democrats quite a bit, right? They went for Obama, they went for Biden. And that one single electoral college vote could mean the difference between winning and losing, because this race is so tight. So if you get down to a situation where we have a tie, where each Trump and Harris have 269 electoral college votes, and because now we have third-party candidates that could siphon off others, they have to get to somebody has to get to 270 to win. And in that case, it would go back to the House. Well, we all know Republicans control the House. We know what they're going to do, right? They're liars, they're thieves, scumbags, MAGA people. So they're going to give it to Trump. So it is vital that someone get 200, or that Kamala Harris, more specifically, get those 270 electoral college votes. So the fact, like I said, the fact that they're trying all of this stuff and doing all of these underhanded, bizarre things at the last minute, it tells you he's not doing well. Regardless of what he says when he's at his rallies, they know that this race is very close and that Kamala Harris has a very good chance of winning, and they're scared. So they're again, cheating as they always do, because they know that they can't win, because they know their policies are not popular in America with the majority. So anyway, I will let you guys know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.